In this lecture, I want to talk about the Insight Maker API, or Application Program Interface. It's a set of functions that were developed to allow one to have very detailed control over various segments or various operations within the model for advanced programmers. Or in terms of in doing storytelling, you can use API commands to change the values of things in the midst of a simulation to demonstrate different aspects of it. Or you can use the API commands within buttons, which we'll talk about in a couple of lectures from now, to actually set up and develop scenarios so that rather than have to go through and change a whole bunch of things to make sure it has the right values to demonstrate you want the model to demonstrate, you can set them all up and simply issue a command and have it execute and set all those variables for you. So that because Insight Maker is written in JavaScript and runs completely in your browser, I actually didn't believe that. So I talked to the developer and he said, try it. And he pointed me to the source code, which is readily available in Insight Maker. You can go to GitHub and download the source code for Insight Maker. I downloaded the source, loaded it into my browser, developed a simulation model, and ran it with no problem. There's no way to save the model or to load another model. It's just the raw JavaScript code that is the Insight Maker engine. The only interaction it has with the server is to save models and save updates and go get models when you request them. All of the actual calculations and everything are done in your browser, which is why there's no loading on the server regardless of how many people are using Insight Maker, because everything is happening on each individual's machine. So in terms of, I said the application program interface is a very rich set of functions, which you will find out if you read through them, but it allows you to do dialogues and get user input. So in the midst of doing a story, you could prompt the user for inputs to use in a simulation model to do certain things. It has a set of general functions, allows you to set all of the simulation settings from inside of the story, looks for specific things and acts on them. My advice is, if you can stay awake long enough, read through the set of functions that are available in the API, and maybe do it a couple of times. Most of it will be like reading Greek. And then at some point in the future, when you're trying to figure out how to do something, all of a sudden you'll say, oh, I think I saw that in the API someplace, and you go looking for it and you'll find it and then you'll use it. So rather than trying to make sense out of all of the functions in the API, my advice is to just go through it and get a sense of the kinds of things that are there and what it is that they allow you to do, and just read the top part of this. Each one of these is actually a link to a more detailed description of that particular function. So, but just read the short description so you get a sense of the kinds of things that it will allow you to do, and later on when you're trying to do something, hopefully it will dawn on you to go look in the API and find a command for doing that. In the next section on enhanced storytelling, we will go through this is another place where it's an extremely robust environment, and I use probably 2% of it. And in the next lecture, I will talk about certain aspects of it that I use in simulation models on an ongoing basis. So hope this has been a useful introduction to the API. There's a link to this file in the resources section of this lecture. And I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye.